Isaiah, tell us about your video game.
All right. Thank you, Gabri. I'm Isaiah Dozier, a rising senior at Pathways Through Technology Early College High School. For my project, I chose to develop a 3D Unity game. I'm an astute gamer. I play a lot of games. And so I had an idea of creating an RPG with a slightly different mechanic than is most common for most RPGs. A lot of RPGs have like a crucial element of a leveling and experience system that like helps the player advance through the game. However, in my game, I wanted to play with that and make it so that the player has to make a choice as to how exactly their gameplay and experience would be gained. So as part of this, I completed multiple different things, but basically there are three types: one based on aggression, one based on survival, and another based on knowledge and experience. All of these types would have like slightly different formulas and stuff that would modify how they gain levels and how they progress. So I'm gonna share my screen really quickly so I can exemplify some of my progress. So here is a video that's gonna go over some of the graphical stuff of my project. So of course, you have to have all the buttons, all the things that the user can see and interact with that relays all the information. Of course, there's an options menu. It's pretty bare for now, but it's interactive and works. There's also a quit button. In Unity, you can't really quit the game unless it's a full-on app, but as you can see, it would run and display that it is quitting. Here is the next scene, and in here you can see that I have a health bar, a mana bar, EXP, and a few drop downs that would help the player manage their stats. Also, all of these are actively updating in real time. So if the player wanted to, say, increase their health, they could push the plus and their health would go up and recover immediately. If they wanted to undo that, they could easily do so, pressing the minus, and it reverts back to what it was. The way that this works is mostly through controls of different variables and conditionals, like if this is true, then that happens. If this is false, then that happens. And conditionals are actually really important to my project because, as you can see, I'm going to share another thing really quickly. Here, this is the basic animation setup. I have imported a character model and then added a few animations to that. In this animation, they have 4 states. Give it a second to load, but in this animation, they have 4 states.
Why?
First is the idle state, in which they are not doing anything. Then there is the midair state, in which they are jumping or midair, that sort of stuff. There's also a walking state and a running state. I'm gonna let the video play through so you can see those. That was midair, for example. This is walking, and the final one is running. Each of these is controlled by this animator here. Each of them has transitions from one to the other, and it takes like a lot of things to explain it, but it's based off the same principle of conditionals. If this is true, then this is happening. So for example, in the code, it checks, is the player pressing the button that makes it walk? Then if so, play the walking animation as you move the character's model. All right, when I was doing this project, I had several difficulties. While I am a programmer, I had to learn a new language entirely. It's the Unity's native programming language called C#, which has a lot more strict rules than the programming I'm used to. For example, at the very beginning of this, I would often forget to put a simple semicolon, which would prevent anything from working, which was very annoying. But I've eventually managed to remember that. Another thing is, Unity is a great software, but it is difficult. There are a lot of great tools that it has, but you have to be able to have good resources and people to be able to use them properly. And that's what I had here at Blue Stamp. I'm really appreciative because I had a whole bunch of people here, Gavri, as well as other students who would give me advice, recommendations, and help me out. Another thing I got from this was it's not easy to make a game. I actually came into Blue Stamp thinking that by the end of this period, I'd have a full fleshed out game, all the graphics, you know, everything planned out. But as you can see, that didn't exactly happen. I'm still really proud of the progress I did though. If there are no questions, then thank you.